Here, you had me thinking you were dead. How's your tax pay?
For joining us on today's edition of Unity Train, and of course on Unity 93.3 FM, we're reaching you live from the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism, to be precise, from the hills of ZINARIYA in Jos North. And so this morning, I am not alone in the studio. I have Professor Poveno H. Bamayi is in the studio, and together we'll be doing the newspaper review segment. And I'll let him say good morning to you, our listener, and of course our viewer. Don't forget, today is our Wednesday, the 11th day of that month of October 2023.
Good morning, Kulbi. Good morning, our viewers and our listeners. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, the 11th day of October 2023. Today is also the International Day of the Girl Child, celebrated all over the world.
Yes.
To emphasize the rights of the girl child. And so we're going to be having a very fantastic time this morning together. Please remain tuned to Unity FM radio and TV. And I assure you that you will not regret it this morning.
Yes, of course, you will not regret being with us. And so before we set it rolling so that we can see as many of these issues that we can actually go on, I would love to say you cannot afford to throw away the efforts to live in peace with your neighbor. And so do your best to make sure our peaceful coexistence is sustained. And thank you so much for choosing to do that. So the discussion begins. And so, Prof, let's talk about what we have for a girl child before we even look at issues that has to do with the headlines we have on our national days: forex crisis, army general jail, 7 years, and lots more. I want to believe you have to say something. You would love to say something for a Nigerian girl child. And if I'll put it, let me say, Plateau girl child.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in Plateau State, the women are more hardworking than the men. I'm sure that some men may try to dispute, but
yes.
Let's face the facts. Women are more hardworking, more industrious on the plateau. I mean, they combine the work of both a woman and a man. You see them, they're on our farms. You see them, do you know that even in those illegal mining places, I see women there, you know. Ordinarily, that should have been a man's job. Today is the International Day of the Girl Child. And unfortunately, all over the world, millions upon millions of girls are denied their rights. Their rights to education, their rights to good livelihood, their rights to health, their rights to employment, their rights politically and otherwise in the society. But I can assure you that girls are the best children you can ever have. Many years ago, when my second daughter was born, an elderly man looked at me and smiled, and he said, "Look, let me tell you something. The best child you can have are girls." He said, "Look, when you're old, they're the ones that will take care of you. The boys will be busy with their wives, and their wives' families, and also, but the girl will never forget her parents." And I agree with him, because I've seen it in my own wife, that she is so concerned about her own parents. Even as we are talking now, she has traveled. She's with her mom. Because her dad is late, so she's with my mother-in-law, you know. Because girls are the best. They will never forget you, you know, as a parent. And today, all over the world, the emphasis is to talk about the rights of girls.
Yes.
You know that many girls are sold into slavery. Many girls are given out in early marriage. Many girls, you know, even here on the plateau and all over Nigeria, you have girls hawking on the streets instead of going to school. And that is unfortunate in the society, because some of these girls are the future Margaret Thatchers. Some of these girls are the future Theresa Mays. Some of these girls are the future Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Some of these girls are the future vice chancellors of our universities, Senate presidents and leaders. We've not had a woman yet, but in some other parts of Africa, we have women leading parliament in their countries. And there is nothing a man can do today that a woman cannot do. And even better sometimes, you know. So I think that as we reflect on this today, I want to encourage us to please allow girls, give them their rights. Let their potentials be maximized. If you have a girl child, please give her extra attention. She needs it more than the boy.
Oh my, if you have a girl child, give her extra attention. This is because to Professor, I feel it's because he has witnessed women actually being all out to do what ordinarily in a typical African context is supposedly be the male, you know, responsibility, but on the plateau.
Yeah, I can tell you that could be. My mom was both father and mother because we lost our dad at a very early age. I was only 2 years old when we lost him. So for 46 years, my mother was a widow. And my mother was both mother and father. She was breadwinner. She was physician in the family. She was teacher. She was everything. I mean, she combined all the roles.
Prof, I'm interested when you say you were 2
years old.
Oh my, and yet you made it to become a professor.
Oh yes, oh yes.
You are now revealing how
how
miraculous women can be, and your mother has demonstrated that.
Absolutely. There were times that were very difficult for us. My mom would starve herself so that we can eat. My mom denied herself the pleasures of this life so that her 6 children can enjoy in life. She made all the sacrifices. She would deny herself sleep, deny herself rest, deny herself food, deny herself good clothes so that she can take good care of her children.
Oh my.
How many men will do that?
How many men?
How many men will make that sacrifice? You know, when a man loses his wife, within 1 or 2 years, he has married another wife. He marries another one. And then the children from the first wife begin to suffer. So women make tremendous sacrifice. And if you are lucky to be in a place where a woman is in charge, I tell you that you can be at home because they are mothers. By nature, women are loving, they're caring, they're wonderful, they're sacrificial.
I wish women all over Nigeria are listening to what you're saying. It's some sort of encouragement. But Prof will not take much time on this. Let's see what is obtainable. This one has to do with Forex crisis. The headline puts it crisis. And so whenever you hear crisis, it's something that needs extra attention. Like you advocate that the girl child should be given extra attention. And even in terms of Forex crisis, extra attention. So what do we have here?
You know, could be yesterday I was at one of the commercial banks. I needed some dollars so that I can make an international purchase. And I said, can I get dollars at the official rate? Okay, you need to fill some forms and do some other things.
Yes.
And do you know what they told me? That even the official rate is 800 and something. And that there is no guarantee that they can get it for me. That they will have to bid for it. It will be between 800 to 850 or thereabout. Whereas in the black market is already over 1,000. As of yesterday, 1,025 naira to $1. Some parts of Nigeria, 1,050 naira to $1. It's a great crisis. In fact, it had to come up at the National Assembly yesterday because the naira is just plunging, plummeting, falling drastically, going down and down and down in spite of the boast by the CBN that they were going to strengthen the naira, they were going to ensure that the naira has value and all that. But the naira has been somersaulting and falling. Do you know that currently I'm supposed to be buying certain equipments for my research around the world, outside Nigeria? And when we wanted to buy the equipment, when we were budgeting, the naira was about 400 naira to $1. Now it's over 1,000. We can't even buy those equipment. We cannot even buy half of those equipment. It is a crisis.
It is
a crisis for the country. I mean, when you change your naira to the dollar or pound sterling, you feel as if you are robbed, as if they just robbed you, as if somebody just collected your money from you.
Prof, as at the time you were budgeting,
yes,
the naira was not up to what it is today.
Absolutely.
And now, at the time you want to now forward to make sure you make the purchase, and then you have a very big difference there.
Absolutely.
Now, and this research actually is to benefit humans.
Yes.
So now, do you see, this is just your own case that we know. I want to believe there are many more which
many
we have not heard,
other people all
we
over
probably
the
have
country.
budgeted to do things.
People have budgeted money for their children's school fees, who are schooling abroad because of the educational system within
Only
the country.
in a week time to
those
have.
who are going on medical tourism, those who want to just go out of the country to do some more research, like some of our colleagues, you know, and all that. You have to review your budget.
You have to review.
You have to review it.
And you're not certain if after you've reviewed, it will still be there for you.
The government will tell you they're not going to give you any money. No additional funds. This is the same government that has not increased salaries for university lecturers since 2009. It's only now that they're talking of 25% and 35% increase, you know, for university lecturers, which we don't even know when it will come, which ASU had already rejected outrightly because it's outrageous. Since 2009, inflation, hyperinflation. I mean, if you had 100,000 naira in 2009, what 100,000 naira will buy for you today in 2023, it cannot even buy half of that, not even a quarter. So, if the government will be realistic, we'll be talking about increasing salaries of not just lecturers but workers in Nigeria by at least 300%. At least 300% increase, minimum. At that level, maybe we'll say the government is a bit reasonable.
Okay.
So I think this is a national disaster for our country, that we cannot implement policies to strengthen the naira, that some of us have cried out again and again and have said, please, let's invest. Let the government emphasize production. Let the government emphasize policies that will strengthen the naira. But the government is more interested in having the largest cabinet in the history of Nigeria. A cabinet of 48 to 50 ministers. We've never had it in this country. And minimize waste. No, the government is increasing waste. Why do we need 360 people as members of the House of Representatives? Why do we need to have 109 senators doing what? What are they doing there in the Senate chambers?
Prof, don't you think, looking at the population of Nigeria, this number don't you think it will have a way of having even the minority be represented?
Is Nigeria more populous than United States of America, where we got this our democracy? What are we talking about? Is Nigeria more populous than China or than India, than Indonesia? What are we talking about? Are we more populous than Brazil and other nations with high populations, but yet they have fewer members of parliament? We're just interested in West. If I had my way, Nigeria would not have more than 36 senators, one for each state. If I have my way, we will not have more than 36 members of the House of Rep. And we'll have a better, more vibrant economy, a better country, better security than having a host of politicians all over the country doing nothing. And this is what we're talking about. You now see why we have so many crises and confusion and problem in the country, because we don't have leaders who are prioritizing the citizens who are interested in developing the country. Most of them are in there because they have their own personal agenda. Why is it that in Nigeria, when people become politicians, they don't want to leave politics? They stay in politics till they die. Because they want to amass wealth.
For themselves.
For themselves. They are not there to serve the masses. If they're there to serve the masses, let our politicians begin to collect the salary of classroom teachers. Then we will know that they're there to serve. Let them renounce all those extravagant allowances. In fact, let's make politics part-time. Legislators should be there part-time. Let them be doing other jobs and go there part-time like they do in some other countries that have gone ahead of us. Instead of being there full-time, you're staying there in Abuja and your citizens are in the village, they hardly see you, and you say you're representing them. How do you represent people that you don't come back home to interact, to talk with, to see what they're passing through while you're seated there in Abuja enjoying yourself in the green chamber or red chamber? It's a crisis for our country. And these are the things that make some of us mad. We feel irritated because we have a nation full of potentials, a nation that will be the greatest in Africa and one of the greatest in the world, but because we don't have leaders, that is why we are where we are today.
Prof, don't you think we have ourselves citizens to blame, because we'll be the ones insisting that the politicians should come give a lot of money during our children's birthday celebrations, weddings and things like that, and not having to invite the primary school teacher, and that's what to us we feel that this politician is a very good politician because he has come to donate a huge amount of money during my child's birthday or wedding celebrations, and so they forget to do what is expected of them, development, infrastructure, and things like that. But now to donate money during celebrations where there are plenty of people, so that we say to them.
You see, the politicians know that there is so much poverty, and some of this poverty is deliberate. They want Nigerians to remain poor because they have weaponized poverty. They know that as long as poverty is prevalent in Nigeria, people will keep worshipping them, idolizing them, looking up to them. And so they don't want Nigerians to become rich. And that is why you see that basic things that these politicians will have done to empower Nigerians and make sure that we get rid of poverty, they are not interested in doing it. Why are they not interested in building industries, setting up industries all over the country so people can be gainfully employed? Why are they not interested in doing that? Why are they interested in just distributing 500 naira, 200, maybe 1,000 and all that? The more you keep doing that, the more you keep impoverishing the people. Like all this money, the cash transfer and all the rest is a way of impoverishing people. Nobody becomes rich because you dash out money to the person from time to time. People need to be gainfully employed. Build factories all over the country. Get people employed. Empower people. Let them find something doing. Instead of giving them peanuts, instead of giving the people fish all the time, teach them how to fish and teach them how to take control of the fishing process. Then they will be empowered. They will become rich. But that is not what our leaders are doing. Of course, I will blame the citizens that we vote incompetent, corrupt leaders into power. But the leaders also carry the greater share of the blame, because when you present yourself and you say, I am a leader, I want to lead the people, whereas you know that you're lying, that you're going there for yourself, not for the people. You're deceiving the people, and based on that deceit, the people will vote for you because they don't know any better. And when you get in there, because you've deceived them, you just do whatever you feel like doing. It is high time we hold people accountable. Do you know that in China, corruption carries a death penalty? Corruption carries a death penalty. Should we start executing politicians, corrupt politicians in this country? Let's start implementing that and see how many politicians will remain alive in Nigeria. In fact, they will not let you see the light of day. You can see that the other time somebody proposed a wonderful bill to say, you politicians, political office holders, stop sending your children out of the country to school. Let them school here in Nigeria. Let's have that bill. They threw away that bill. Immediately, the bill did not even pass the first reading. Why? Because they want to keep sending their children to Oxford, to Harvard, to Cambridge, all over the world. They don't want them to school here in Nigeria. Why didn't they agree that that bill should be passed so that they can develop the universities in Nigeria? They refuse it because they are not interested in the average citizen. They are interested in their selfish interests.
Prof, are you not proud of Nigerians who have it financially to even build factories, to build, to have a business establishment other than in Nigeria, building big companies, and are you not so proud about this?
Well, there are very few. Those Nigerians that have factories, that have built institutions, they have multinational companies. How many are there? 0.01% of Nigerians, if they're even up to that. We're proud that they're doing more fantastic work than the government. The government has so much potential to do much more. But because we don't have visionary leaders, we're where we are today. We hope that we can have more Nigerians that we can be proud of. More Nigerians in the private sector who can set up more factories, who can set up industries all over the country, who can employ thousands and millions and empower people. We hope that we can have them, but currently, could be viewers, listeners, they're extremely few.
There are few, but don't you think we have the Nigerians now building the same, but outside Nigeria? Developing other countries.
Would you blame them when the government cannot guarantee your security? One of the primary responsibilities of government is the security of her citizens. Why should I set up an industry in a place where they will kill me, or kidnap me, or even burn down the industry?
That's one.
So
That's
you see
one
the problem.
To look at.
The government should be doing something about security instead of dilly-dallying about some other very ephemeral, mundane, insignificant things. Why have we not secured the country up to today? Why are they still kidnapping? For example, on the plateau and all over the country. Why do we still have attacks by bandits, by ISWAP, by ISIS, by Boko Haram? Why do we have hip-hop attacking, killing people? Why do we have so much insecurity all over the country?
Okay. Prof would have chosen to go on and on, but we just have 2 minutes to be done with this segment, but I have
2
this...
minutes when we're just starting.
Yes, of course, it's so interesting it has been. And so this one has to do with Israel, Hamas war. Federal government holds pilgrimages as Lagos airlift 310 from Jerusalem. I don't know, I'm in a rush. Do you have anything to make of this?
Could be the federal government is withdrawing the pilgrims back from Jerusalem and Jordan because of the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. At least 310 have already been returned back to Lagos, and many more. And in fact, pilgrimage has been postponed till further notice. The ongoing war between Hamas and Israel is a very deadly, bloody war. You and I know that, indeed our viewers and listeners, that Saturday morning, the Hamas terrorist group invaded Israel, and as of the last count, over 1,000 Israelis have already been killed. And Israel responded, and is still responding with a lot of Hamas targets in Gaza. Gaza is a very small place with 2.3 million people. And these 2.3 million people are held up in the Gaza Strip. And that area is just about 345 square kilometers, a small place. And they're receiving a lot of pounding day and night. And it is a really, really unfortunate situation. All over the world, so many flights have been cancelled to Tel Aviv, the capital of Israel. I predict that this war will go on for the next 6 months. And it is not good for Israel, it is not good for Hamas, it is not good for the Middle East, it is not good for the world. What the world needs now is peace and peace. And we hope that we can have that peace that we're looking for.
Thank you very much, Prof. we've come to the end of this segment. Of course, I wish we have all of the time so that we would go on and on. And thank you, our listener and our viewer. At this point, we'll go on a short break. At this point, I just wanted to know what the world needs is peace, and peace we will promote. Thank you. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
Oh, thank you very much for still staying tuned to Unity 93.3 FM and TV. Beatrice Adamu Iji remains my name, the anchor of Unity Train on this lovely Wednesday morning, the 11th day of the month of October 2023. In the studio, I have two gentlemen, and two of them are all unrepentant. One to my right is an unrepentant optimist of better Nigeria, Professor P.H. Bamayi. He would say another big good morning to you.
Good morning, Colby. Good morning, our viewers and our listeners. It's a beautiful morning.
Yes, and to my left is an unrepentant advocate of good governance, practicing legal practitioner, so to say, Barrister Sam Talks. Again, a community leader. And so I'll let him say good morning to you.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Kubi.
Thank you very much, Barrister, for coming to the studio this morning.
It's my pleasure always.
Yes, and now to Prof. Before you take your leave, please, this is the first time you come into the studio of Unity 93.3 FM radio and TV. Since we had that great occasion where about 13 Nigerians, were celebrated. And so would you love to say something in a minute before you take your leave?
Thank you very much, Kulbi. Thank you, viewers and listeners. Wednesday last week, 4th October, we celebrated 13 new veterinary doctors who were inducted as veterinary doctors at the University of Jos. It was a very wonderful celebration. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate all the parents that came from far and near. Appreciate the Vice Chancellor, University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, who was ably represented by Professor Rahila Gowan, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic. I want to appreciate especially His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Mutfwang, who was ably represented by the Commissioner for Agric, Honorable Ishaku Bugama. It was a wonderful occasion. The Veterinary Council of Nigeria came from Abuja. We had our friends of the media, of course, they made the occasion also extra colorful. All and sundry that came, we appreciate them. Honorable Musa Agavia was also ably represented, and Honorable Adamu Aliu and many others, including the keynote speaker, Dr. Maria Muhammad, the Executive Director of MVRI Vaughan. So it was a very wonderful occasion, and we really want to appreciate all those who came. And we want to use this opportunity again to congratulate our students who have now become our colleagues, the new veterinary doctors, the group of 13 excellent men and women, whom now we refer to as our own colleagues. And we hope that as you go out there, you will continue to make us proud as your lecturers. You continue to make University of Jos proud as your alma mater, and make our profession, the veterinary profession, proud as you obey ethics and excel in your profession. So we use this opportunity today to really thank everyone that made the second oath-taking and induction ceremony of new veterinary doctors of the University of Jos a very successful one, especially the induction planning committee that was led by Dr. Polika Tanko. They worked round the clock to ensure the success of the induction. We're very grateful, and we look forward to next year, 2024, and we pray and hope that 2024 will even be greater and better. And we thank Unity FM for this platform and for being there at the induction Unity FM and TV. It's wonderful that you're our partners in this pursuit of excellence in the University of Jos. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and it's good to have you. One thing I learned that day, and I will never forget, is that you don't skip stages, because life has a way of bringing back the same stage that you skipped. And so, do not skip stages. Thank you so much, Professor. Yes, of course, at this point, I will just turn to my left, and then let's bring it up so that we can begin our conversations and, of course, discussion with our Barrister Sam Talks. And our topic for discussion this morning, our listener and our viewer, it's psychophancy, ban of development of Nigeria's democracy. And that's our topic for discussion this lovely Wednesday morning, the 11th day of October, 2023. Barrister,
yes,
it's been a while, and we're so happy to have you already.
It's my pleasure always.
Thank you very much. Let's just begin by, today is the World Day, celebrating Girl Child. And so you may want to say something to a girl child before we zoom into the topic.
It's a very important day. I heard Prof was saying when I was coming to the studio, was talking about how his mom brought him up. Some of us, I was only 2 years when my father died, and my mother Yes, my mother was able to train us. The last 3 of us were quite young when our father passed on, and I can tell you that I have come to respect the girl child because of my 2 immediate senior sisters. My mother inculcated values in some of us that has to do with cleaning the house, doing the chores of what is conventionally looked upon as women's chores. In fact, I have seen the advantage now. It is quite an opportunity at that stage that my mother was able to teach me how to do a lot of things. I started cooking when I was just 6 years old. And I can tell you that I have come to discover, in fact, there were times, an example was like, when we fight with my immediate senior sister, and my mother gets to know about it, I receive the beatings of my life to make me understand the importance of the girl child. So on this day, I would want to tell parents to put a watch on their children. My first daughter, I have a daughter as a first daughter, and I've tried to make her understand that she can stand and speak for herself. In case there's anybody who wants to look down upon her as a child, as a female or as a girl child, she should be able to speak for herself. And I want to tell you that in advanced climes, the dichotomy between the male child and the female child is not there. That's why even in African context, you find out that before, by law, a female does not inherit her father's property. But I want to assure you, I have an elder sister who I think one of the properties of her father was shared amongst the boys. She didn't know. And she was a former high court judge. Yeah, so she didn't. The girls were excluded. But when she discovered, she had to say the property will have to revert after the number of years that the boys have taken. So I use this time to say that we, as a society, we need to know the importance of the girl child, so that we can protect the girl child from all sorts of vices, from rape and other issues and a lot of issues. We should respect the girl child because that is what brings life to the world. Let me put it that way. It's the female that brings life to the world. So I think we should be able to respect the girl child and also to protect them against all kinds of vices. So I wish them very, very peaceful celebration.
Yes, of course, female or girl child or our mother, so to say, brings life to the world. And when you bring life, it simply means that you bring light to darkness.
Very well. That's
true. My, that's lovely. Okay, let's just go to see what we can do around our topic, which says psychophancy, bane of development of Nigeria's democracy. Barrister, is there anything to fetch from this at all?
Yes, it is very important. This is a very topical issue. You know, psychophancy itself has deeply destroyed the democracy of Nigeria. Sorry to say that, because it is one of the aspects of democracy that, if not properly looked into and properly considered by those in government, I want to assure you that the destruction of the democracy of Nigeria, it's deeper. I want to say that psychophancy, it's a situation where people and persons erroneously, let me use the word erroneously, exaggerate the functions of government. For instance, if you know, I've seen it happen. There's a particular road in Numan-Jalingo Road. That road it's been very, very bad for years. I was watching the TV and I just saw on TV that the road has been properly constructed, because they just went 5 kilometers and it was taken and it was publicized that the government has done excellently well. You see, that's an erroneous view, because the road has not yet been constructed. If you have over 110 or 120 kilometers road and 5 kilometers have been constructed, the psychophants go in to praise the government. They praise the government erroneously by making the public to believe that this person or whatever is a representative or whoever it is is doing excellently well. It has done the work. So I think sycophancy too has eaten deep. If you see a new government comes into place, you'll find out that these sycophants, that is more like what they do. They go to offices, from one office to the other, telling lies about people to gain favors in government. So I would say sycophancy has a way of destroying the system. And it goes back to the point that if the leader, who is supposed to have known where it is sycophancy, and fails to realize that that's sycophancy, he will keep believing what the sycophants will tell him. And thereby, even people who are well-meaning, people who have the capacity to help in governance, are being sidelined because of sycophants.
Oh, this is a very serious one here. Yes. And so let's look at how it affects integrity of the very politicians or public office holders that we have. How does it affect their integrity? Yes,
it affects them negatively. I would say it affects them negatively because, well, I've come to discover that there are people who are not prepared for leadership will always want to hear sycophants. Meaning that if you're not prepared for leadership, all you do is to wait and hear what the public thinks about you. There's nothing wrong in reviewing your activities as a leader, but it becomes a problem where you know that you have not done anything, and yet somebody will come and say, you are the best governor, you are the best representative, you are this, you are that. And knowing too well, because the only yardstick you will measure your performance is with the public. The public. And when I talk about the public, I'm not talking about sycophants who are around you. Because people who are around you as a leader will always tell you what you want to hear. Because they look at it, they call it stomach infrastructure. All they need is the monies they can gain and the things they can get from you as a leader.
When you praise him.
Yes. If you praise the leader now looks at it, well, I'm doing very well. You know, just the way they said the Agamaliza will nod his head. So the leader will think that he is actually, but the truth of the matter, if you want to hear the true situation of your performance, is actually the masses. The masses. People who will wake up in the morning and see these roads that are being constructed, and see the health facilities that are available to them, the people who go to the hospitals, the people who go to farm and get availability of fertilizer and other things that they need at the subsidized, see it themselves. These are the true people that can give you the picture. You know, the problem we have is like, it affects democracy and it affects the leaders, because if you are a type of leader that only hears what suits your ears, I want to assure you that is a big recipe for failure. Because after then, somebody comes on board, then the eyes of the public is open. So this man has been there for over the years. And we used to think that he was doing well. Then somebody else came in and now made your tenure to look as if it's a child's play. So I think it has an effect on the democracy negatively if it is given the breeding ground to survive for a period of time, or it has survived over the years because it has not been nipped on the bud.
Okay, now looking at the numerous sycophantic tendencies, who is to blame now? Is it the sycophants or the leader who desire to be praised at all time, even to be praised over things he or she knows very well that he has not done that?
A very good question, Kulbi. I would say, in my personal opinion, both the sycophant and also the leader. I read on a platform recently. There are people you have known over the years who in code, started activism even before some of us grew up. Those persons have been in the system from one government to the other. And I'm talking about graduates. I'm not talking about people who have not gone to school. Even people who have not gone to school always try to find something to do with their lives that will take them off, because as you grow, you become matured. Growth is not in the number of years, but in your in your ability to understand that you need to move from one stage to the other.
Looking at the experiences
you've gained. So you see, those people. I was reading on the platform, and I'm trying to link it to the fact that sycophants are also huge part of the problem. You've been a student for a very long time. You kept being a student. Then when I was in University of Jos, I discovered that there were people who have stayed University of Jos for almost 20 years. The whole thing is to move from one politician to the other. They call it BEMing. That's the word they use. Or they use the word comrade. Go to one office, tell him I have a project. They take 50,000 and give the person. They keep trying to sustain without getting a sustainable means of income personally. So when that discussion was going on, I now realized that such sycophants have refused to outgrow that level of life. Because if you start even as a sycophant in the first place, if you start as a sycophant, you can be sure that you will end as one, because you have not gotten a mechanism, or you have not gotten a platform where you are supposed to thrive without that kind of arrangement. So in a nutshell, I would say sycophants have technically destroyed our democracy by year in, year out, the same people. For instance, if Kulbi is the best person to handle a particular ministry, the sycophants go to the person who is the leader and tell him, Kulbi is against you, Kulbi is against the system. Probably Kulbi wants to ensure that things are done properly, to bring the dividends of democracy to the public, to the common Nigerians. But those people don't allow that to see the light of day, but they create what we call imaginary enemies. Most of the times it's an imaginary enemy, because the government doesn't, most of these people in leadership don't go down to verify such statements. And those people thrive on that, because they as soon as they realize that a leader is somebody who hears stories, who is not objective, who acts upon stories, will begin to believe those stories. Even people who mean him well, people who would have given him credible advice, or different advices that will have taken him to the next level of governance, will become of good governance, to say. It becomes impossible. That's why you find people year in, year out having power tussle. Example is Edo. Recently, the deputy governor and the governor had a serious rift. And I linked that to sycophancy, because from both sides, you hear different stories coming from different people who are associates of these people. So I would want to say that the leaders too have contributed negatively, because if you are a leader who hears stories, you keep hearing stories, and it keeps destroying without you knowing. One of the greatest things that people don't understand, that this tenure is usually 4 years, and 4 years is like just tomorrow. It comes and it just goes. They said, soldier comes, soldier go, barrack remains. What it simply means that you are supposed to consolidate in areas where your predecessor has not done well, so that it can speak well for you. Not that if your predecessor is a kind of person that hears stories from sycophants, who tells him about governance, you have done well, you are the best governor Plateau has ever had, you are the best local government chairman your local government has ever had, without you actually going to the grassroots to know people's opinions about that. So both of them, both the sycophants and those in leadership, are contributing.
Barrister, still talking about when you made mention of predecessor and then consolidate on what a predecessor probably would have started, and then couldn't continue, and here the tenure elapsed. Now, in a case where you have a predecessor whose projects are based on sentiments, and then selfish sentiments, and then cited in areas where it is of his immediate benefits and things like that, and then now, do you feel you would still want to see such projects?
Personally, this is my opinion. You know, any project that is being done, and the public should be able to know this, these monies are not the personal monies of those people who have been entrusted with this leadership. It is taxpayers' monies. You know, when they say it's only in these climes that where roads are constructed and you think that is development. Ordinarily, in system where it is working, these are normal things that are being done. It's just like you have it's your money. You go to buy something. Then after buying the thing, then you begin to celebrate the person who sold it to you. It doesn't really make sense. So I think that abandoning projects, even if somebody cites a project that, the root of the problem, it's one. Because of sycophancy, you find out that they'll tell you, you have only 4 years or 8 years to spend, as the case may be. You better make all the roads you need to make in your locality.
Yes.
Even where other places need that development. Yes. Okay, then because of sycophancy, you advise because let me tell you, this sycophancy is not only to those who are jobless. Even those who are employed and paid with taxpayers' monies as advisors are fond of doing that. Say, okay, take this project to your place. Politically, this will serve the purpose. Politically, this will do this. At the end of the day, you find out that when the person leaves office before completing this project, another person comes in, abandons that one, starts up a new project. It is still taxpayers' monies that are being wasted. I keep telling you, we're having a discussion recently, and I said, it is only in Nigeria. It has happened in other states too, where you find out that local government chairmen are suspended for whatever reasons, and the matter goes up to the Supreme Court, and at the end of the day, those who are on transition will still be paid, and those ones who the Supreme Court says they are the valid ones will still be paid. So it means that taxpayers are paying double payments to people whom ordinarily this thing should have been resolved on the table to see that, but sycophancy will not allow that to take place. So personally, I would say that in a nutshell, that the truth of the matter is like abandoning projects is to the detriment of the masses, because it's the masses that if you license your vehicle, you are paying revenue to the government. If you license or you are a taxpayer generally, you pay tax to the government, and it's expected that the government should be able to channel this tax for the benefit of the general public.
Okay, Kano's case might not be a good example to cite here as we discuss this, but you have a situation where even the projects that have been maybe 90% completions are being brought down just so probably to feel that there is a better way to have done this, and so why don't we bring it down and then do another one? It might not be a good example to cite here, but things like that. Is there a place for sycophancy that you feel?
Like you've rightly observed, any project that taxpayers' monies are being used, it is not. There's nothing wrong. For when I've heard a lot of comments, I've seen a lot of posts about Kano's issue. If you pull down a project that has been done by your predecessor, and probably the project is, let's assume that there was wrong allocation, there's wrong whatever. All you need to do is to come back to the table and look at what is the value of this project to the general public. Not because my cronies, even if the immediate past governor or whoever it was, has allocated to his cronies against the extant laws that are on ground. All you need to come is to look for redress. The redress is how? There are procedures for redress. First, alternative dispute resolution. You bring these people to table, even if it means those people repaying for those properties. It would also serve as a means of revenue generation for the state, instead of going to pull down the project that is 90% completion. And probably this project has a direct bearing to the improving of the lives of the general public. Then the few who thought that even if the land was taken illegally, I think there are mechanisms of compensation to those whose lands were taken illegally. In as much as it was taken illegally, it can be redressed by giving them other properties where that can cushion the effect on them legally by settlement. But if it doesn't go that way, litigation you can opt for litigation and make sure that it is done properly. Not for you to wake up because you are in authority and there are projects that are cited and it is not comfortable for you. The sycophants tell you this project, if you allow it happen, you are not the one to take the glory. It's not a competition. If the system was working, could be. I want to tell you, if the system was working, somebody would not, if there's a project, because there are a lot of abandoned projects, right from the time of Joshua Dari to the times of Jang, to the times of Lalong, and even Mutfang that came in, he will discover that there are a lot of abandoned projects. But the problem is like, do we need to continue abandoning projects? Because our cronies are telling us that if you do this, your name will not be anywhere. And there are some governors who have actually completed. I remember Jang started the bridge at Secretariat Junction. Yes, I remember those years. And when Lalong came in, he completed it. So it doesn't mean that it's a personal project to Lalong. It doesn't mean somebody else started it, somebody else completed it. So it means that there should be sustainability. If we have this mentality, it will be better for us than not allowing the people who will influence decisions in terms of what benefits the general public.
Oh, thank you very much. Barrister, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, you'll be telling us how psychophancy undermines governance or democracy in Nigeria. That's what you'll be telling us in a few minutes before we let our callers, comes in. And our caller, our listener and our viewer at this point will go on a very, very short break. When we come back, it's going to be your time after Barrister would have spoken for just 2 or 3 minutes. Stay tuned.
You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill law, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was saying things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
For still being there with us on Unity 93.3 FM from the city of Chelsea. Of course, we are reaching you live, and we are so glad to be here. Beatrice Adamu Iji remains my name, and in the studio it has been Barrister Sam Toggs. That's one person that I choose to say he is undisputed and unrepentant advocate of good governance. He's in the studio, and we'll be talking a lot. I will let him just complete on the question I gave him earlier on. So, yes. Barrister.
Yes, psychophancy has affected the democracy of Nigeria negatively because, like we've earlier on observed, from the federal level to the state as well as the local government. Even at the district level, at the ward level, you find out that people say the things that shouldn't help the leader. I would want to say that if you look at the history of Nigeria, right from the inception of democracy, this current democracy, that's from 1999, from all the riffs you hear, most of the political drama and most of the political setbacks, because sometimes as the political setbacks set in, it affects democracy generally, because it is based on parochial interests. Somebody said tribalism, religion, and some other aspects of life has affected the democracy as a result of sycophancy. You go to places of worship, all the clerics are supposed to do is to preach unity and to foster peace, just like this station does at all times. You find out that extremists bring all sorts of ideology, whereby the leader, let's assume the leader is in that particular place of worship. He gets out with the mentality, he thinks that the people he's leading, a faction of the people he's leading, are his enemies. By sycophancy. That's sycophancy, because
sycophancy is actually the problem.
It's actually the problem
because it ignites all forms of understanding.
Yes, all forms of understanding and mentality. Somebody brings up issues that they said, even before you were there, your predecessor has been doing this for us, and you see that. In fact, one of the things is like when you go to a leader's house, I'm talking about people who are either House of Assembly members. In the morning, you will see people jam-packed at their gates. All they do is from one problem to the other. So, if you look at the person's income that is legitimate, how is he supposed to take care of his family? How is he supposed to take care of, in fact, to take care of things that are supposed to be, that are just the normal conventional things that he takes care of? Because he has to. If he doesn't have that resources, it goes to affect the democracy itself. So in Nigeria, I've seen sycophancy destroying leaders who have cared to be destroyed. That's the word. Who cared to be destroyed. Because if a leader is objective, if you come to tell me a story about Kulbi, that Kulbi is a terrible person, is the enemy of your government, and you know the word your government becomes as if it's a personal entity, instead of looking at it as a public service. Because if you are a public servant, you should be able to look at it that you are serving the people, not that you are serving your parochial interests. But those people with parochial interests come in to state all these kinds of things, and that has affected the democracy of Nigeria from all spheres. That's why sometimes you hear, okay, because we are divided along different sentiments. You find out that even before elections itself, we are looking at the sentiments we belong to, and those sentiments should be able to sail even where you know for the truth that another person would have done better. You will prefer the sentiments because you are looking at your alignment and the things you are able to get from the government or by through sycophancy and lies. So I think it has destroyed our democracy to a large extent, because politics is different from sycophancy in the sense that sycophancy comes to destroy the structure of democracy, whereas politics can be played towards ensuring the dividends of democracy get to people. If I know that a leader is not doing well, there's nothing wrong by bringing the mechanism of unseating such a person to bring up someone who could be able to look at things differently. That's politics. Get towards good governance. But when you find sycophancy affecting the reason why probably there's somebody who is doing excellently well, because probably you wrote a memo and it didn't pass through, and the leader, either the governor or the whoever is in authority, becomes an enemy because he thinks that memo you are passing through him is frivolous. He refuses to approve. You now gang up with other people to destroy the good work the person has been doing. And that is why you find out that they will say this governor is a very stingy governor. I've heard that several. Yes, they will say the person is stingy, or they will say the person is that. But I've come to realize those who the term stingy sometimes, if given the opportunity to serve people, you will discover that they do excellently well. I'm not talking about, there are people who have genuine complaints, genuine needs, who needs to be helped. But it is not right, because it has destroyed our democracy, where you go to unseat people who are doing well for the fact that they have not met your demand. So
your very own demand.
Yes. So generally, I'll say that psychophancy have affected the democracy of Nigeria negatively, because if the structure was working, we wouldn't have been having what we are having today.
Yes, if the structure was working, it wouldn't be as it is even today. And so at this point, you may want to join us. Remember, if you are joining us, you just call 070-3235-3315, and then you tell us your name, where you're calling from. And again, do remember that we will not tolerate any statement or comment, no name calling, foul language, and all that. What we promote here is peaceful coexistence. And remember also that comments made on these platforms are not in any way the position of Unity 93.3 FM. So you may now call us. And so if you want to send in an SMS, go 0808-478-9 in 4 places. If you want to go on our Facebook page, that too you can go Unity Radio FM/TV. Just drop your comment at the appropriate time. I will get to read it on. Okay. Yes, let's see what we have here. Let's go to our Facebook before our callers begins to call in. This one is from Alhaji Salisu Salemi saying, "Morning, Uncle B and Prof. Thanks for the good contributions. Remain blessed." Thank you, Salisu. And this one is from Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu saying, "My advice to you could be please open WhatsApp platform for more contributions, group Unity FM radio stations." Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu noted, and thank you for that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, in the house.
Oh, thank you very much. Who is on the line?
This is Yakubu Saleh from Zaria Road.
Yakubu Saleh from Zaria Road. You have a minute. Please go on.
Thank you so much. It's only God that bless you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate.
And I think the funniest person is him who have not been eating for 2 days. So when you have gotten the food to eat, somebody telling me, "Oh, see, your stomach is looking big. So you have benefit now. You don't need food." And the person decides not to eat the food because he has been praised by somebody.
Okay.
So I think in the next few minutes he may die. What am I trying to say? As a leader, if you know you want to work for people, and somebody tell you that no, work for your own community, that person is not help you. It's not helping matters. So just zero your mind and do the bad job.
Okay.
Do the needful. If you do the needful, even your enemies, they will come and say you must do the second channel. So we see how these psychopathies have been destroying Nigeria, in fact, making our policies to become a terrible something that somebody may not even want to go into.
Thank you.
So I think we need to do the needful. And in Nigeria, if you are wearing a short trouser, somebody will say your legs are dirty. And if you wear a long trouser, somebody will say something is wrong with your legs. So just zero your man and do the needful. Whatever story, anything that somebody says, you just listen to the person and do the needful.
Thank you very much.
By so doing, I think we get it right. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Yakubu Saleh, yes, of course, you just need to do the needful. It doesn't matter if it's a short nickel or easy. Because whatever you do, in the end, someone will always have something against it. And so, what is best? Let's just keep to it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much. Who is with me this morning? Hello, good morning. Oh my, I think we lost him. You may want to call us back. Line remains 070-3235-3315. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Mofa. Good is calling from the one.
It's good to have you. You have a minute, please.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your case. But when I am thinking, I still asking myself, what kind of democracy are we practicing in Nigeria?
Okay, what kind of democracy?
Sometimes you see other countries that adopt democracy. I'm talking about developed countries.
Yes.
You see about democracy. Look at America, they're thinking, or they are the giant, or they are the whatever democracy they are. But still, they have some last where it is not going to tender with the people of nowadays. Africa, we should also, I agree with the democracy world, but let the future of our democracy be different from their own. We should put our culture, trust, and religion. Even if religion not should be, let's try to engage or take part in the future of democracy.
Okay.
Because our democracy now is just for the wealthy and the rich.
All right.
And the masses are still suffering. Look at what is happening and Nigerians, we should know. Let's look at the good leader, not the person who will give us the money.
All right.
Because the more you give us, the more you take away in power. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
Oh, thank you very much for calling. We appreciate. Mutala Yahayama, yes, a good morning to you. Could be, and you all could be. Thanks for the good works. It could be. We always appreciate your good works that you are doing. Please keep it up. God bless you all and your family. God bless Nigeria and Plateau State. Stay in peace. Peace is priceless. Nigeria from Mutala Yahayama Igia Shanu. We appreciate Mutala Yahaya. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning, my brother.
Oh, thank you very much. It's good to have you.
This is a good start.
Jude Sad, thank you for calling. You have a minute, please.
Brother, it's very, very unfortunate what you are witnessing.
Okay, you may need to speak up. Speak up more, Mr. Jude.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Yes, go on.
What I have to say this morning is that the way things are going,
Yes.
one of our callers, we are through the door.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
A general in Nigeria Army, gave almost many millions of naira.
Okay.
They just gave him 7 years imprisonment. So after these 7 years, or maybe it may not be up to that 7 years, there are some people that did nothing, that they are in prison more than 13 years, 20 years. You understand?
Okay.
The way things are going rough, even some families cannot eat 2 times a day. Somebody collect this kind of money for his own use and his family, they just go in what a corruption, my brother. It's very good. Make this present administration, Buhari administration, you lament for them to do the needful. Hand over to this man now, Tinubu.
All right.
The same thing is still going on. Let them do the needful so that let's see a better Nigeria. God bless you, my brother.
Oh, thank you for calling. We would have loved you tell us how you would prefer. That was court proceedings. I don't know much about that. So, okay, let's keep hearing from our viewers and listeners. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
My name is Peace Ambassador Abdullah calling from the
Abdullah, you're welcome. Peace Ambassador.
You make my day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A lot of people mind in Plateau State today for Nigeria at large.
We appreciate.
You understand?
Yes.
All those type of parents, they are there. Anywhere. I'm telling you. And so you forget to do something. Kabal.
Kabal.
You understand? The sacrifices and Kabal, they are working hand to hand. If you want to go to the people, they say, no, sir. You need to use them. You understand? If you know somebody has the capacity to do something, the psychopath will say, this man, don't put this man in this place, do that. You understand?
Yes.
What is verified.
Yes.
I'm telling you, as a leader, you know the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
At times, if those sacrifices, you know them, and you know their antecedents. If you say this one is white, they will say, sir, it's not white, but it's quiet.
All right.
You understand? So please and please, our leaders, let them learn a lesson and do the needful in anywhere.
Thank you.
My dear, please and please continue to come this program, because I'm telling you, I respect you, you make my day.
Thank you very much.
Of your tribe, religion, and affiliation.
Thank you very much, and you come in peace, Abdullah Rokibo. Okay, this one is coming from Shaibu Doro. Oh, my producer, I say, great analysis by the barrister. Oh my, we appreciate. By the way, that's a nice suit you're wearing.
Thank you.
We appreciate. You look smashing in it. I love your Tinubu-like cap. Could be. Keep up the spirit, Shaibu Doro. Oh, so you like my cap, and I. Shaibu, it's good to get it down to smiles and laughter there. Yes. So thank you. Okay, our caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Gigi.
Thank you very much, and amen already.
And the guests in the studio.
Thank you, amen.
God continue to bless you, Jesus.
Amen.
See, my major thing is just that if we do not do the needful in this nation, then this issue of sacrificing will keep on affecting Nigerian democracy. You see, the issue of being people having the mentality that government are just being parasitic in nature. Instead of having a symbiotic relationship, if that does not come to play, you begin to see a lot of things coming up. Why do I have to say this? You see the lack of continuity between the predecessor and the successor.
Yes.
It's even a major challenge. Sorry, I have to put this. When there was shopping during Goodluck Jonathan, President Muhammad Buhari came up and came with empower. What difference does that make? You understand what I'm saying? So we need continuity and synergy between our political parties. If there are no synergy and even accepting defeat, you will see that they look for the development of this nation, then we still remain in the same position.
Okay.
Because you cannot continue to kick at a dog that bad at you and think you can move forward.
Yes.
You need to just ignore, leave every distraction, and move ahead.
Okay.
Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. We are gradually coming to the end of receiving from you. We apologize. We may not be able to pick all of your calls on our Facebook page. This one is from our peace man Adam. Is saying good morning. You guys are doing extremely well over there. The barrister have spoken excellently and objectively well. That shows that he is a leader. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Always peace man. Thank you, peace man. And okay, peace man has sent his twice and say psychophancy is what leads to destructions of democracy. People that need to tell governments the truth, they are the ones praise them where they have not even performed well. We need visionary leaders in this country. God bless you. Still from our peace man Adam. And Abdullah Rocky Boy, the peace ambassador, say good morning to you all. This topic make my day, I swear to God. Oh mine. He's so happy about that. And SMS we have this one say good morning could be the barrister and prof. Life is the only journey that ends where it started. From nothing to nothing. Life is meaningful only when we make the best out of it before our definite returns to the starting point. May God guide us and our loved ones through and bless our journey of life. Amin. Hassan Garba. Hassan Ji, I truly appreciate. I have another one here saying good morning could be and the barrister. Good morning, Prof. We appreciate you. Really, it's true. Nigeria have everything, but Nigerians have losses everything. Items of good governance. A happy girl child today educates a woman. You educate the nation. Thank you. Your name is not there. I want to believe you apologize that we were not able to read. This is because we don't have it here. So, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Kulbidi and Barrister Sam Cox.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. You have a minute and you happen to be our last caller, God's willing.
Okay, thank you so much. Very quickly, give out my own contribution. This is Pastor Henry Gigi, they are known as Yonti of Donkasa.
All right, go on, please.
Yeah, you know, I like one thing about Barrister Sam Talks. He said things the way they are, and that is how if really we want Nigeria to change, that is how we are supposed to be saying things.
So it's not a psychopath.
Yes, we have people who, because they have worked for the governor, and they cannot come out to tell the governor,
the truth.
or whoever is in place of position, the truth. That's why we are having leaders upon leaders without any development in the country. What am I trying to say? I have access to whoever politicians that you can think of. But you know the reason why I am not having my personal vehicle, because I choose to tell politicians the truth. I have access to whatever politicians that if I meant to see, I can see, but I don't have time for their money. In fact, the only time I see politicians is to the interest of Doncaster, Plateau State, and the country at large, nothing else. But many people are having this sensational interest. They want to see a kind of politician. They want to see a certain politician because of personal gains, which is why we are having Nigeria is underdevelopment. And until we change our attitude, we begin to tell leaders the truth. However they look at it, we know that we tell them the truth. Nigeria will continue to remain in impoverished poverty, which we are not praying for. Let's tell our leaders the truth, irrespective of whoever they are. Let's tell them the truth.
Thank you.
I think they will do that the better for us. We have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. That's the much we can take from our callers. And lastly, on our Facebook, just this one is coming from Saddam Yunus. He's saying, good morning, sir. The government are not yet ready to work for her citizens. Thank you, sir. Okay, we just go to Barrister, and we'll let you respond to some of this, and then we put it in.
Yes, from the callers, you will know. I would want to first of all observe that from all these callers that have called, none of them is a sycophant, because they stated it as it is. If you look at them from this dimension, all the callers who called are people who are community-based. Because if you are community-based, you look at the interests of the community first. You know, once you have a good upbringing, to understand that you need to, the importance of hard work, good labor, and also contributing to people's lives, you begin to see the need to do the needful. Not even, you know, there was a leader that some of us know. If you come to him, you know, is when new governors come in, or leadership comes in, that you see people begin to move to them with different proposals. And these proposals usually are fictitious. Maybe tell you that if you do this for the people, and it's actually lies, just because they want to gain favor. That leader, I don't want to mention him on air. If you come to him with anything, he will sit back and look at you. If you are talking, you said, okay, I know your problem. I'm going to give you something from my, personally, not from government coffers. Take this money, go and help yourself. It ends it there. So it means sycophants could not find their way to get across to him. But the sycophants, I would say, from the comments and from the contributions, you understand that people are yearning to see good governance. And there are people who have been a blockade towards good governance when it comes to sycophancy, because it nobody talks about it. It is not, except this is personally this is the first time I'm hearing on air that this issue of sycophancy is being discussed, and people are looking at it in this dimension. I mean, as a full-blown topic on the program like this. So people are responding. From the response, you know that people are getting tired of some of these people who are a wheel in the clock in the wheel of progress as far as democracy is concerned. So I would say Nigeria will be better for it if we begin to look at things more objectively, regardless of whatever affiliations we belong to, for good governance.
Your final word, please.
Yes, my final word will be that we believe in Nigeria, we believe in a brighter future for Nigeria, and I will tell the masses that very soon, by the grace of God, if nothing good is done, I know that people will still speak against what is not done rightly, but I believe that Nigeria will be better for it if good measures are taken and the masses are considered first.
Thank you very much, Barrister.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it's good to have you in the studio today.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, our viewer and our listener, we've come to the end. Thank you, everyone, for making it possible that this production is a success, and I want to appreciate those who are at the control room. I have our GSM, Shamsuddin, and Kabir, and also Alamin Kabir, and also I have the producer, executive producer Alhaji Tijani Desukine Kande, and coordinating producers I have Nazifi Abdullahi and Rabi Abdullahi. The producer of this program remains Doro. I am Beatrice Adamu Iji, your anchor on Unity Train. Stay tuned for other programs on Unity 93.3 FM. Bye bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer